In my boyhood, I suffered from a peculiar affliction due to the appearance of images. Now, you'd think that's a quote from some kind of mystic, right? Nope. Those are the words of one of history's greatest scientific minds, Nikola Tesla. And that so-called affliction, well, it would become the very engine of his genius.
So today, we're going to step right inside the mind of the man himself. We're drawing directly from his autobiography, My Inventions, to understand how he saw the world, and, more importantly, how he planned to completely rewire it.
Okay, let's dive right in. Look, before we can even begin to talk about Tesla's world-changing inventions, we're talking alternating current, radio, all of it, we first have to get a handle on the truly one-of-a-kind mind they sprang from. And it all goes back to what he called that peculiar affliction. Seriously, try to picture this for a second. You're just trying to go about your day, and suddenly these super vivid images of things you've seen before just appear in front of you. They're so real, they completely block out your vision of the actual world. For most of us, that would be totally debilitating. But for Tesla, this bug in his mental software would end up becoming his greatest superpower.
And you know, these early influences were absolutely crucial for shaping that mind. You had his mother, who he called an inventor of the first order, a genius in her own right. Then there was his father, a priest, who put him through these intense mental boot camps. And get this, even harrowing near-death experiences played a part, training what he called an inventor's instinct to find a solution in a literal flash.
So, you've got this one-of-a-kind brain. How do you actually use it to invent stuff? Well, it led Tesla to develop what he considered his greatest contribution of all. And it wasn't a specific machine or device, it was an entirely new method for bringing ideas into reality.
It was basically a three-step process. But step 2, that's where the real magic happened. See, he wouldn't just think about an idea or sketch it on paper. No, he would use those visualization skills to build the entire machine, piece by piece, right there in his mind. He turned it on, test it, find weak spots, make it better, and run it for weeks, all before a single screw was ever turned in the real world.
And this really shows you the night and day difference between his way of working and the method of his famous rival, Thomas Edison. You know the story, right? Edison would try thousands of physical filaments for the light bulb, just brute force trial and error. Tesla? He did all that prototyping in the clean, efficient workshop of his mind. It's not even close.
This quote says it all. He had total 100% confidence in this mental workshop. He claimed that for 20 years, using this method, not a single invention ever failed to work exactly as he'd imagined it on the very first try. The mental model was that real to him.
All right, so he's got this incredible mind and this bulletproof method. What did he actually do with it? Well, his vision started out with things like motors and circuits, but they scaled up fast until they were literally the size of the entire planet. Gotta love this story. The solution for the rotating magnetic field, the principle that our entire modern electrical grid is built on, it didn't come to him in some fancy lab. He was just taking a walk in a park, reciting poetry, when bam, the whole idea hit him like a flash of lightning. He immediately grabbed a stick and drew the complete diagram right there in the sand.
And his ambitions just kept getting bigger. At his lab in Colorado Springs, he wasn't just building motors anymore. He was trying to tap into the electrical frequency of the Earth itself. The goal? To build his Magnifying transmitter, a tower designed to create artificial lightning bolts with a staggering 100 million volts. Just wild.
And all of this was building towards his grandest, most audacious vision, the world system. Just take a look at this list he put together around the year 1900. Instant messaging, secure communications, a global phone network, universal news and music. I mean, come on, that is a blueprint for our 21st century internet. And he even included the Holy Grail, the wireless transmission of power itself.
So you have to ask yourself, what kind of person dreams on this planetary scale? To really get the inventor, we've got to look at the man, at his strange habits, his deep-seated beliefs, and his truly iron willpower.
It's fascinating, right? The same mind that could visualize an entire power grid could also be tormented by the sight of a pearl earring. He'd calculate the cubic volume of his food before eating it. Everything he did had to be divisible by 3. These weren't just quirks. They show you a brain that was desperate for structure and recoiled from anything that felt like chaos. But on the other hand, his self-mastery was just off the charts. As a young man, he got a terrible gambling addiction. And his mother, in this incredible move, didn't forbid it. She handed him a roll of cash and told him, "Go, lose it all. I know you will get over it." And he did. He said he walked away that day and just ripped the passion from his heart so not even a trace was left. Just amazing.
This ability to master his own impulses led him to a pretty stark philosophy he called the automaton theory. Here's the deal. Tesla did not believe in free will, not at all. He saw all of us as complex biological machines, just responding to the world around us like corks on the surface of the water. And you have to wonder, did that belief allow him to detach and observe his own mind with such clarity? Was that the secret to running those perfect simulations in his head?
Which brings us to the ultimate question about his legacy. With a mind like that and so many world-changing inventions, why did his grandest vision, his world system, his life's work, why did it fail to happen in his lifetime?
Well, Tesla had his own answer. He didn't blame the investors, he didn't blame his rivals. He saw it as a matter of cosmic timing. He argued his vision wasn't flawed, the world just simply wasn't ready for it yet. It was, in his own words, too far ahead of time.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. When you look at our world right now, with its global wireless internet, its instant communication, its endless search for new energy, you have to ask, was Tesla's world system a failed dream? Or is it possible that after more than 100 years, the world is still just catching up to him?